Breaking news in the Sean Diddy Combs case. He's back in federal court today in Manhattan, this time trying to secure bail.
Pardon me?
That was before the
Don't get brazen with me. You knew very well.
A lot of people allowed it to go on, said nothing, didn't intervene, maybe benefited from it, profited from it. All of these individuals and entities, in my view, have exposure here.
The music mogul was denied bail yesterday after his arrest on sex trafficking and other charges.
I'm not going to talk about anything that I haven't said in court or in the papers. These are all great questions, but I'm just not going to get into it. So,
can you speak about your concerns about the leak in the video? You have spoken about that.
I did it in the court papers, and I'm just going to stick to the court.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I've been holding a lot of shit lately. Man, I just had like a 3.5 hour cry where I just like let it all out.
Imagine being so confident you're walking free, only to have the judge slam the baby oil bottle in your face. Diddy thought he had it all figured out, but when the judge threw his bail plea right out the window, he went nuts. Now, as the trial for music mogul Sean Diddy Combs kicks off, he seems to be growing more anxious by the day, especially as people have no support for him. Not even his closest associates have spoken up.
Him that spent so much time defending this man. This man was allowed to be with every presidential candidate. He was allowed to throw parties. He was hailed as a hero. And yet behind the scenes, everyone knew that this is what he was engaged in. This was an open secret in Hollywood.
Recently, a judge denied his bail, leaving him behind bars, a situation he likely never imagined in his wildest dreams. Now, facing the consequences of his actions, Diddy is reportedly sweating bullets, worried that a longer jail time could ruin both his reputation and career.
And I also want to be clear that the press and the media and the public at large is shocked by what's happening, but we really are just getting to the beginning of everything.
As Diddy waits on the decision for his third bail request from the appeals court, he was back in court last Thursday to get the latest on his case. With his sex trafficking trial around the corner, his lawyers have been keeping quiet during court sessions. However, sources found out they're trying to block a key piece of evidence against him. The trial date and some evidence found in his mansion were discussed, signaling a serious turn for Diddy, as his time behind bars stretches longer than he expected. And honey, when I tell you, Diddy made a big mistake making an enemy of the judge, he might be looking at a lengthy stay at the MDC jail, often called Hell on Earth. On Friday, Circuit Judge William J. Nardini denied Diddy's request for immediate release while a 3-judge panel reviewed his bail plea. Diddy's lawyers had appealed to the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals on September 30th after 2 previous judges already denied his release.
Breaking news in the Sean Diddy Combs case. He's back in federal court today in Manhattan, this time trying to secure bail. The music mogul was denied bail yesterday after his arrest on sex trafficking and other charges.
For those living under a rock, Diddy has been in a federal jail in Brooklyn since his arrest on September 16th. He's facing charges for allegedly using his fame and influence to lure women into drug-fueled sexual encounters with male sex workers, referred to as freak-offs. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, which accuse him of coercing and abusing women for years, allegedly using blackmail, violence, and even kidnapping to keep victims silent.
Prosecutors say that the charges stem from years of sexual abuse and threats against women. He has pleaded not guilty to those charges, and he made that plea yesterday.
Now, about 3 weeks ago, a judge rejected Diddy's $50 million bail offer, which would have allowed him house arrest at his Florida mansion with GPS tracking and strict visitor limits. However, it looks like his jail time will be longer and tougher than he expected, and he's doing everything he can to get out. But with bail denied twice already, things aren't looking good. To make matters worse, he's reportedly trying to go after the judge. Diddy's lawyers aren't just trying to prove his innocence, they're also arguing he's not a threat to the community. Judge Andrew L. Carter Jr., who later stepped down from the case, stated that prosecutors provided clear and convincing evidence that Diddy poses a danger to the community. According to the judge, no condition or set of conditions could prevent Diddy from obstructing the investigation or threatening witnesses. In their appeal, Diddy's lawyers argued the judge sided with the government's exaggerated claims and kept Diddy jailed for speculative reasons. Come on, I did not come at the judge like that, the lawyers argued. Diddy is a 54-year-old father of 7, a U.S. citizen, an extraordinarily successful artist, businessman, and philanthropist, and one of the world's most recognizable figures. Diddy's lawyers haven't yet asked the new trial judge, Arun Subian, to reconsider bail, but during a hearing on Thursday, Subian hinted he might be open to it after setting a trial date for May 5th. The judge briefly asked Diddy's lawyers about his treatment at the Metropolitan Detention Center MDC, notorious for its issues with violence and dysfunction. Mark Agnifilo, one of Diddy's lawyers who previously tried to get him transferred to a New Jersey jail, responded, "We're making a go of the MDC. It has been very responsive to us." Outside the courthouse, another of Diddy's lawyers, Anthony Rico, told reporters, "He's doing fine. It's a difficult circumstance, but he's making the best of the situation." Earlier this week, Diddy's lawyer, Alexandra Shapiro, filed a motion for pretrial release. She pointed out that the case presents unusual and extreme circumstances, but argued these shouldn't keep him from getting bail or defending himself from behind bars. Shapiro highlighted that Diddy was arrested immediately after being charged, despite having been in the public eye his entire life. There's really no chance he would run away, she argued. He's a 54-year-old father of 7, a well-known figure. The media frenzy around Diddy's arrest has twisted public perception of his bail situation. Even though he was ready to follow strict rules to prevent flight or danger, he hasn't been released. While times have already been tough for him, this is only the beginning. New evidence and allegations continue surfacing against him. In one recent lawsuit, troubling allegations claim Diddy drugged and assaulted a 13-year-old girl in 2000. Filed in New York's Southern District, the lawsuit states the plaintiff was taken to an after-party following the MTV Video Music Awards, where she alleges Diddy and an unnamed male celebrity assaulted her while a female celebrity looked on. The Busby law firm, representing the plaintiff, indicated it plans to file over 120 lawsuits against Combs, including 5 recent cases. Fans are now starting to believe claims that Diddy exploited minors like Justin Bieber and Usher. Social media is buzzing with reactions, questioning why a 13-year-old was at a party and why no one spoke up. The lawsuit claims that after having a drink, the victim felt dizzy and was subsequently assaulted by Combs and others. Now residing in Alabama, the plaintiff says the incident led to lifelong trauma and depression. In response, Combs' legal team firmly denied all accusations, stating, "Mr. Combs has never assaulted anyone," and expressing confidence that the truth will emerge in court. For the first time, Diddy might be realizing he can't talk his way out of this mess. The thought of possibly spending years, maybe even decades behind bars is likely weighing heavily on him, contributing to his courtroom breakdown. For someone accustomed to a life of luxury, the idea of being locked up in one of the country's most notorious detention centers must be terrifying. Concerns about Diddy's life in jail are piling up. High-profile inmates like him face severe psychological strain. He's had an entourage, fans, and a mountain of wealth to cushion any backlash, but now all of that is gone. Imagine the isolation, physically alone and without everything that defined him. Sitting in a stark cell with just his thoughts, it's like the walls are closing in. Authorities are closely monitoring him, fearing he might harm himself. Life at MDC, one of the worst jails in the country, is a total nightmare. Hygiene is almost non-existent, with inmates often going days without proper cleanliness. The cells are freezing in winter, sweltering in summer, and power outages leave the place in darkness for days. Ramped and over capacity, MDC offers zero privacy and requires constant vigilance. For someone like Diddy, used to mansion-sized space, this environment must be utterly suffocating. Currently, he's in solitary confinement in the Special Housing Unit SHU, designated for high-risk inmates. A man once calling a $48 million mansion home now finds himself in a cramped 6x9 FT cell, smaller than most closets. He spends 23 hours daily there with just a steel toilet, a small desk, and a thin mattress. His only belongings are a blanket, a uniform, and a few commissary items. For Diddy, it's a stark reminder of how far he's fallen from his life of unimaginable wealth. Solitary means he gets just 1 hour outside his cell each day, to a small enclosed yard, no interaction with other inmates, completely isolated except for guards. A user commented, "Puffy trying to get his last glimpse of sunlight. Freedom is priceless. If convicted, Diddy could face life behind bars, a chilling thought, and his prospects aren't looking good." What do you think about this situation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you missed what just happened with Diddy yesterday, click the video to catch up.